Hello and welcome back to Josh on the YouTube. Today we're going to be talking golf swing. Now in the golf swing there's a few fundamental things that you need to do to get right to have a good golf swing. A good golf swing for me is something that's repeatable. Understanding what pattern you are. Now I've spoke about this in previous videos before. What pattern you are will relate to what ball flight you hit, and that's the ball flight you're going to probably most consistently hit. If you're someone that traditionally rotates the club through the ball, releases it a lot more, you're probably going to be more comfortable hitting a draw. If you're someone that holds the face, you're probably going to be a player that, trusts that fade ball flight. So very important that we understand what we do in our golf swing to understand what ball flight we should be hitting. Now, there is also the last one, which is a neutral ball flight. I think this one is kind of a pretty good place to start and understand where you are in your golf game. I think as an amateur, we can be too much one way. We can be hitting a big slice or a big hook, and actually going back to a neutral point of view is a really good place to start for a lot of people, because you start to understand what ball flight from there is falling off more. So when I say that, I might go for a neutral shot and it falls just to the left. So, I now know that a neutral shot for me might just fall out the sky to the left. So I'm typically more of a draw player. Some people feel pretty comfortable to stand there, hit their neutral shot, and it just fall off the sky to the right, which is a fade. So, it all depends on what you're more comfortable doing, what kind of pattern you are, your grip, your setup, everything relates to it. So let's talk the key fundamentals in getting that swing right. Okay, so I've just set up a ruler on the floor here. It's a meter stick, great for working with alignment, or even if you've got some tour sticks at home, whatever you've got, lay some clubs down, give yourself that line on the floor. So straight off, we're going to go in with our feet. Let's line up feet with the meter stick on the floor or whatever you've got. Now, our feet are in a good position, but notice how our feet can be in a good position and the body be completely out as well. So our feet are in a good position here, but the hips are massively open, shoulders are open. This is going to lead to probably an over the top. It's going to want you to go left. So just trying to counteract that, get everything in place, everything square with the golf ball. Now, when we put the club down, the club should be on a parallel line for this. We don't want to have the club aiming miles to the left, the same as the feet line. We want it parallel. So imagine there being two lines here. I'm just going to whack another club down. When we go parallel, and you can see there that this line here is different to this one, but it's parallel. So this is a great place to start. You want to be parallel lines, and notice how pretty much everything is in position here. We're pretty neutral with the hips, shoulders, feet, knees, everything's kind of matching up here. This is a great position to start and actually understand where my setup is. So if you're someone that's going to the range and you're kind of on, these lines, look at how my feet are now aiming right, the shoulders are aiming left. There's a lot of problems that can happen with that. So a great place to start is alignment. A really, really simple one that a lot of people underlook, just aiming straight. I think that's a massive thing. If you was going to throw a dart in a dartboard, we wouldn't be aiming over here and then throwing it there. We'd be nice and aligned to the board. Same with golf. If we want to be hitting a straight shot, we need to make sure that alignment's right. So something that you do not want to underlook is this. I'm lucky to have a mirror in my swing room here, so I can just have a cheeky look in my mirror to catch my body lines. Go to the driving range. I'm pretty certain you'll have a mirror at your local driving range. If not, put your camera down, get a tripod, start filming your swing a couple of times. This part here, alignment, is going to help you so much. So if you master that, you're already one step ahead. This is going to be a great place to start for getting your golf swing in a good position. Okay, so now we're going to hit some balls. Alignment is good. This is going to be where you need to start. Get that bit done. Now we can move on to the swing. So when we're talking golf swing, I think of it more as like a body movement. So when we talk about body movement, if we are pivoting on a good center line, we're not really moving off, shifting off, this is another fantastic position to start in when we're going for that neutral ball flight. We don't want to be shifting too much pressure one way. We don't want to be reverse pivot. We want to kind of have a nice turn in the backswing. And you can do that without even having a golf club with you. You know, you can do this at home. Get yourself pivoting correctly in your golf posture, and a great place to start. My coach has always talked to me about this, and it's probably something that helped me a lot understand my golf swing and actually get it a bunch better without even hitting balls. You know, I don't even need a golf club to do this. So, you know, one thing we still do now, I'm still training every day without a golf club. You know, I'm just getting this pivot right. I'm turning around my center point, understanding what I need to do to be in a good pivot. My tendency was before, I used to be kind of in my trail hip. I used to sink down in my backswing. I lose height. And then what I used to do was bump up with the right hip. Everything would fire up. My head's going away from the ball. Club's going out. I used to get some high rights. Or I'd save it with the hands and flip it, but I'd get a snap hook. So, you know, kind of like the 3-4 out of 10, I'd hit great shots and think that I'm, you know, having a good golf swing. But when you're under pressure and you need to hit that fairway, that's when you start to see the problems in your golf swing. And, you know, I always say this whenever I'm doing lessons: which one are you going to be more comfortable with and confident with on the course? Something that you're pivoting, losing height, backing away from the ball, or something that's under control, you're pivoting on that center line, head's not going anywhere, and you've got a good turn. That one there is going to be the key fundamental thing to getting a good golf swing. So how do we start this journey to getting our good golf swing? I would start right from the basics. Like I say, do some pivots without even getting a club. We're going to look in the mirror. Hopefully you've got one at the driving range. If not, just hit a couple of balls, film it, and then look back. So I'm looking in the mirror here. Body align is good. And we're just going to hit some 3/4 shots, feeling like we're turning around this center point. Head's not really going anywhere. Just notice my head movement here on this shot. I'm hoping it didn't move a bunch. You know, just starting to understand, right, what have I got to do to get a good pivot? Alignment's looking good. And like I say, we're understanding what that neutral ball flight kind of feels like. We've got good alignment here. Body aligns are all good. And then notice my head again. Watch. So it's not moving. I'm just pivoting around that center point. And as you start to get comfortable with it, you can move up the bag and start to hit some full shots. And trust me, you will notice a huge difference in strike, consistent ball flight. Really heavy, that one, but dead straight, right down my target line. And then now, as you start to get up to full speed, I would start to assume that you're going to see your ball flight start going one way. So mine tends to be that little draw. I mean, this one's hardly moved a muscle. You can see it wanting to go right to left. Side spin was 122 there, so it wants to go right to left. Not a lot at all, but too neutral, if anything, you know. I'm not going to say too neutral because you can never get it too neutral. It's a great place to start, like I say. And I think understanding what you've got to do to get that neutral golf swing is a really, really good place to start if you're one way or the other. And like I say, if you're going to the driving range and your feet is aiming 35 yards right and the shoulders are aiming 40 yards left, and you're wondering why you can't find the middle of the club face, you know, alignment first, then have a look at getting a good pivot, and I'm 100% certain that is really going to help your game. And this goes throughout the whole bag. Start somewhere with a wedge, start to understand what you're doing to get that good pivot, and then move up the bag. And I promise you now that when you get to that top end, you're going to notice a massive difference. You might see a fall off in speed and distance, but you get that back over time and you get it back with a better golf swing. That's one thing I've learned. I used to hit the ball a lot further, but it used to be 50, 60 yards right, 30, 40 yards left. My pattern is a lot more tighter and more consistent now, and I'm going to make a lot less bogeys than what I used to before. So understand that pivot, understand that alignment. That's two really, really good fundamental places to start and understand your golf swing. If you did enjoy that video and that helped you, please leave a comment down below, like the video, subscribe as it really, really helps me out. We're closing in on 10K. I cannot believe the support. It means the absolute world to me. Keep smashing it, guys. See you later.